How's it going, everybody? I am Preston Johnson. Welcome to Last Word Cheetah, brought to you by Bets TV.
As a general life philosophy.
That's exactly right. You're a fish.
Qwan, by the way, my producer, Qwan Young, doing a good job. He'll be taking the calls. How you doing today, bud?
Hey, man, how are you?
We appreciate you guys tuning in. Welcome to the show, Bets TV, bringing you Last Word Cheetah. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to Last Word Cheetah, brought to you by Bets TV here in the Bets TV studios in Southern California. I am Preston Johnson. Long weekend of football. We got a new week, though. We do have a Monday Night Football game tonight. And Qwan, my co-host, producer extraordinaire over there on the side. I already hear phone calls coming in, by the way, on this side. He loses his first caller bet. It's okay. You'll hit one of these eventually. 661-515-BETS is our phone line. By the way, we take your calls. We talk about what you want to bet. We can talk about how your weekend went, bad beats, good weekend, whatever it may be. But we do track the bets that you make one each day over the course of a month, and we give away cash at the end of the month. We do have a new leaderboard, I believe. I'm not sure, Qwan, if you have an updated graphic. We promised the crowd that we would. Are there really no one else that's +2? Andrew's the only person that's at +2.
A lot of negatives out there.
It was that bad, huh? I know there were a good portion of teasers for Sunday and then even Seattle on Thursday that ended up losing out. Man, yeah. Well, there you go. That's our top three. We're going into a new week, and we have, about 3 weeks still worth of October betting. Plenty of room to catch up because first place is only like +4.1, I think was the number. So you're in good shape. We're just going to open up the lines now. As usual, on Monday, the back end of the show, I go through all my college football sides that, based on, I basically go over them late Sunday night into Monday morning. Then there's a lot of movement Monday morning, but I go through them anyway so people just kind of see where my head's at on some of these sides. A few are still in range to hit, a few that you guys can keep an eye on throughout the week, but we'll get into those after your calls. So with that, Qwan, by the way, said his kickball team, who he had to leave to go coach his flag football team. Flag football team won, but I asked him how the kickball game went. He said, I gave him a 5-1 lead through 3, and then we tied. So he was taking all the credit for the 5-1 lead, and then they blew it. At least you tied. I don't know if that counts in the standings as like a point instead of
It doesn't matter.
a loss.
If I'm not there, it's pretty much a mess.
So humble, this Qwan Young. By the way, Lions almost got a win. I don't know if you were watching the end of that game.
Not.
Yes, you were.
No.
And guess what? The Vikings were only like +190 with 30 seconds left, down 1. And I thought that was hilarious that they were, 30-something percent, 35% or so, 34.3% maybe, to win the game in 30 seconds. I don't know why. It's just the Lions. Go ahead.
Lions going lion.
You can answer the phone. 34.5%. That was close. All right. We will take Jamie first. Jamie, welcome to the show. How did your weekend go?
Hey, man, pretty good. I was actually really good, like 60% in college. Some good CLV that came through, which is always good to see.
Nice.
No complaints here.
Good to hear. What are you looking at early? Are you going to go college? Monday morning college football play?
Yeah,
All right.
Let's go college early. Got any more +3s on Eastern Michigan? I think Circa might still have it up.
Yep, they do. Mostly 2.5, +3 on them. No opinion from me on this game, but I was looking at it last night. I know someone else that I think had it closer to pick.
I think they win. Yeah, I think they win. I expect them to be favored. My numbers had them favored, so happily take a +3 there.
All right.
But wanted to ask you a question too.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the San Diego State San Jose State total? I know it's a day early on totals, but want to get your thoughts on it. I've been staring at that one since the lines came out.
I think if you want to bet it, you should bet it under now rather than later. Like Circa's a 41, and there's still some 42s. There's 41.5 most spots.
I missed the 43.
Yeah, that was the early opener. Look, I can look up what my total is. Just give me a second. I don't have it tabbed up on my computer. But
yeah.
I'll say this. The San Diego State New Mexico game went basically as planned. It went under, and I still got the cover of 19 because New Mexico couldn't score more than 7 points, which is basically the same angle we were both on here. Man, I don't know what to make of San Jose State. I know Starkle injury. There's kind of some stuff going on there. They're just not nearly as good, but I kind of feel like they've just underachieved pretty heavily. And if there's a game that they can kind of get back on track, it's this one. And let me just look real quick. Yeah, I have it lower. Starts with a 3, so I don't disagree on an under for a Friday night game with backup quarterbacks in a San Diego State game that's going to be slow and a grind.
All right, cool. I was similar path, but appreciate you with the confirmation. But yeah, we'll go with Eastern Michigan today. I think that moves.
All right.
2.5.
That sounds good.
3.
Take the +3. All right, man.
All right.
Enjoy your day. I'll talk to you next time. See ya.
See ya.
All right. Who do we got up next, Qwan? How's it going, Hayden? Welcome back to the show. How's your weekend betting?
College, I did all right. I hit that Wilder Fury over 7.5 rounds that I was sweating big time.
Yep.
That was a fun little fight. And then Sunday I got absolutely murdered. But the Cowboys win again. 5-0 against the spread. 4-1 overall. Super Bowl contenders.
Did you buy your tickets yet?
Overall, all right. To the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
I'm looking at hotels.
started glancing at the hotel options. Nice. Okay. I respect it.
Yeah. Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper talking Super Bowl after week 5. So.
All right. What are you looking at for this week early? What do you want to lock in?
I'm going to lock in Cowboys -3.5 if that's still there.
Let's see. Look, I did some early NFL last night. Then I started watching this new show, and I kind of got hooked on it. Anyways, we can get into that another day. But I didn't end up finishing my NFL, so I still need to update some stuff. I'll have NFL stuff. But there's no more 3.5. This is up to 4.5 or 4. So you'll have to lay 4 if you really want to go with it.
What's their? I guess team totals aren't out yet. I'll lay the 4. I'll lay the 4.
Okay. What's the play other than you're just obviously in Dallas? You like the Cowboys, but the New England thing is interesting to me. Like that Texans game was pretty alarming. Like they had to win that one. You go 1-4. Belichick's probably not making the playoffs, and they had to crawl back to just win by that field goal. And it's freaking Davis Mills and the Texans. They just couldn't defend at the level you would expect, and now they're going up against one of the best offenses in the league. Yeah, I'm worried for the Pats, to be completely honest. I'm not surprised to see this move up from 3.5.
Yeah, all the narrative-y stuff I've heard so far is Bill Belichick's going to dial in some crazy defense. And, I don't think it's going to matter at all, even if it's true. I think Cowboys are going to score 30 again, and I don't know if the Pats can keep up.
I will say the Cowboys' defense has been a lot better than I think people anticipated, too, on top of the fact that Prescott looks great. I think people thought the offense would be good, though, assuming Dak looked healthy, but the defense has been awesome. So all power to you guys. We'll lock you in for the -4, and, we'll talk to you later.
All righty. Thank you. See ya.
Had started 4 new O-linemen, I think it was, and the secondary is really injured.
That, and one thing that Bill Simmons, who's a massive Patriots homer, said on his podcast overnight, they do it last night, and then it gets posted late, and I listened to it a little bit, but he was saying, and maybe this is a good point, I don't really know, but he made the point that, look, in the past years, Belichick has had all these assistant coaches that have been really, really good. They've all gone on to basically be head coaches or at least coordinators somewhere. Now he's basically that funnel of all these assistants that he's had for years, they're just all gone. There's no more assistants that are even close to a name. I think he has kids that help coach. They're not going to leave him. But he's they just don't block as well. Something as simple as teaching these new O-linemen. I know part of it is probably that they were young, right? They haven't played too many games together. But he's just find someone that can teach them how to block for a run game. Or how about not fumbling the football, which they fumbled one right at the goal line. They fumbled in every single game at least once. Little things he's just noticing, and defensively they don't really know what to do. in the past they've always had some sort of scheme or angle to maximize their personnel on defensive side, and they just look. Davis Mills carved them up multiple drives in that game. Couple missed field goals, I believe, from Houston, extra points. Like, that could have easily gone Houston's way. So, anyways, concerning for Pats.
And stupid punt they did.
Oh, yeah, and the punt that went for 0 yards, that was hard to do. Yeah, Pats really were kind of gifted that late. So, next, let's roll with it. All right, Hunter, welcome back to the show. How was your weekend betting?
I had a pretty good college Saturday. NFL wasn't so good. I needed Virginia to win bad. I had them tied in like 3 parlays and everything.
The one where they scored like 21 late to win?
No, Virginia Tech, my bad, not Virginia Tech. It's Notre Dame.
Okay. Yeah, that hurt.
Yeah,
I mean, they had that game won too.
Oh, man. They had it won, man. It was crazy. But
Notre Dame's just pulled so many games out of their
Yeah, so I didn't really lose no money. I didn't really make no money, so it was just one of them weekends.
It happens. What are you looking at early then this week?
I'm going to go with the Chiefs -6.5.
Oh, goodness. All right. Lay it on us. Why are you laying the Chiefs 6.5 in Washington?
I know they're 2-3. I know their defense sucks, but I think they can get Washington by a touchdown. Like, especially after a brutal loss by the Bills like that, they're going to come out, and I think they could. I would have took the line if it was -10. Like, I do not think that.
I'll give you -10 if you want it.
No. I'll take the 6.5.
So this is, part of me thinks, I agree with you, but it's nothing other than the one game sample we have of after a bad loss, they went to Philadelphia and just blasted the Eagles. Could be similar here. I think the Washington defense has been kind of overrated, and they haven't been nearly as good this year. Here's the concern. By the way, Kelsey got jacked up at the end of the game. I'm not sure what his health is like. Clyde Edwards-Helaire also left the game. Just in general, though, I think I'm with you also in the sense that if you look at that game last night, in the first half, KC had 2 trips inside the Bills' 35 that resulted in 0 points. They also were flagged for some mysterious, at the end of the first half, the final drive, they ended up kicking a field goal and making it, but Kelsey had like a 30-yard gain or a 25-yard gain inside the 10, and they threw an offensive pass interference on a guy getting held up by the defender on the Bills side. Was horrible. Then you have the red zone interception, was just like a freak awesome play from the defensive end, and they showed his high school receiver highlights were awesome, the 6'6", I forget his name. Then you also have Mahomes just somehow dropping a snap. It was wet. Maybe it was the rain. But that was also in the red zone. So they had 4 drives, really 4.5 if you count the end of the first half one, where I think they would have probably got a TD. The game could have gone a lot differently. You look at like 4 or 5 plays, and it makes it like from an 18-point loss to maybe KC's, at least it goes down to the final possession or something. So I think in general, I agree. KC's better than what they looked like last night. I don't necessarily think the number's too low, though, personally. But I get the sentiment. It's probably going to go to 7. If I had to guess, I don't know anyone jumping to bet against Mahomes here. So anyway, we got to wrap this call up. We have a bunch of people waiting. Appreciate it. We'll lock you in -6.5, and we'll talk to you next time.
All right, cool. All right, brother.
Take it easy. Who we got up next, Qwan? What's up, Patrick? How'd your weekend go?
Hey, Preston. Yeah, I was about as even as you could get with a ROI of -0.2% yesterday. So could have been worse, could have been better.
It goes like that. So it seems like a lot of people are in the same boat that I talked to. I personally, my college did pretty well, but NFL started 3-0 and then finished 3-3 and also just lost some juice. So NFL kind of was a 500 day for everyone, I feel like.
Yeah, well, you know what? Sometimes you just have to maintain with the 500 days and just have a couple big weeks during the year and just limit those really bad weeks. So everything will turn out positive. But
what are you looking at?
You know what? I've made a couple prop plays against the Ravens this year on the tight ends, and I'm going to go right back to that well with Mo Alley Cox tonight at over 16.5 reception yards at DraftKings.
Okay.
He does split snaps with Jack Doyle, but he does have more of the snap percentage, and he's gone over this total 2 out of the 3 times the last 3 weeks. And the Ravens, they're just a tight end funnel. So I think that he can exceed that tonight. If you've gone back and looked at the last 4 or 5 games, the tight ends have just crushed the Ravens defense. I mean, their linebackers, they just can't handle the coverage of the tight ends.
You were calling that out before week 1. I think you did the first 2 weeks at least. You did their opposing tight end over, and
I know I
it's
did
continued.
Derek Waller. I can't remember who else. So yeah, I'm just going to keep riding that horse.
I have a question. What are your thoughts on the Baltimore Chargers line? Without knowing what happens tonight, obviously.
3.5.
Yeah.
Boy, man, it's hard to pass up that hook on the Chargers.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Especially on a short week for the Ravens.
Short week.
I
Baltimore's pretty banged
yet.
up as a whole. And the Chargers, by the way, I wanted to give a shout out to Brandon Staley. If you watched that Chargers-Browns game, it was just like an analytical heaven. But they made every correct decision throughout the entirety of that game, except at the very end, which was more kind of nuanced, where you probably should have just taken knees and kicked the field goal than letting them drag Eckler into the end zone. But there was a play in the third quarter with 11 minutes left still on their own 24, down 14. This is early third quarter still, down 14. A 4th and 2, not even 4th and 1. And they went for it on their own 24, down 14. Anyway, I'm super bullish the Chargers in general now. I just think they're going to play and maximize every edge possible. Now, Ravens pretty analytically savvy too, but getting the 3.5, I'm not sure on the short week. Who knows what happens tonight with the Ravens and the result, but I like the 3.5 of the Chargers. But I also might just be drinking the local LA Kool-Aid.
But, I mean, is there any quarterback playing better than Justin Herbert right now? I mean, he's playing better than Patrick Mahomes. He's elite as elite gets right now.
And they schemed some guys. Mike Williams is just wide open twice a game for a touchdown, 50 yards down the field. And I don't know how, but their offense is sick. And Eckler's been fantastic, whether he's running the football or out of the backfield. Defensively, can they stop the run? They generally haven't been able to do so. They didn't against the Browns. But Baltimore doesn't have a running back other than Lamar Jackson. I think they'll be okay. Anyway, I like the Chargers. I'll let you go, Patrick. Appreciate the call. And we'll lock you in early for the prop, the 16.5.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Yep, take care. All right, who we got up next, Qwan? How's it going, Alec? Welcome back to the show. How did your weekend go betting?
Pretty good. 3-2 in the NFL and 4-2 in college. I needed a winning week in the NFL after a rough start.
Very nice. Yeah, take it. For sure. What are you looking at early this week?
I'm going to go with App State against the spread.
Okay. I'm pretty sure we do that Steam Morning, or we used to do the Steam Morning show with Right Angle Sports. I think they released this play earlier today, from what I've heard. It's moved from 3.5 to 5. So I'm not sure if you saw that, if you still like it at 5 or not. But break it down for me.
I just think both these teams have really good offenses. It'll be a Big 12 type of game, probably see a lot of points scored. But I just like App State's offense to outpace Louisiana's.
Okay, fair enough. We can give you -5, -103. That's the best price on the juice. But I had no opinion at 3.5. I think, if anything, hopefully this steams up a little more. I think I would actually look the other way if it got higher, but I'll probably end up just passing. It is a Tuesday game, weird tomorrow, October 12th. We start getting those weird midweek games now from the MAC and some of the other conferences. So we'll lock you in. Good luck tomorrow, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, take care. All right, who do we got up next? Carlos, what's up, man? How did your weekend go?
It went well, Preston. I actually took the same thing as Hayden, I believe, over 7.5 heavy with the fight. I love that prop. I love that. I love that. I want to pick your brain a little bit, just I know we got a lot of people waiting, but I wanted your thoughts on the whole Ben Simmons thing that's going on. Does he come back and play hard to get his trade value to increase, or what does he do? This guy's an enigma to me. I want your thoughts on that.
Okay, here's the deal. So earlier Adrian Wojnarowski tweeted, the Sixers officials and Clutch CEO Rich Paul are progressing in talks over recent days on a resolution to bring All-Star Ben Simmons back to Philadelphia in the near future. Sources tell ESPN discussions are ongoing. That was about an hour or two before I woke up this morning. Like a few minutes after I woke up, Keith Pompey tweeted, as expected, Ben Simmons just put his Morristown house on the market, according to sources. So I don't know if he's just trying to stir stuff up. He is verified. He's the Sixers beat writer, Philly Inquirer, and he does some other like Pro Hoops writers and some other hoop stuff he's done on the side. But he has 66,000 followers. Like, it's a legitimate point. He's not just saying that. So is Simmons putting the house up on the market, even though he's coming back to play in Philly for this year while they try to work something out, and he'll rent in the meantime? Is he just out for sure? I don't know how to read the situation. I don't know how to capitalize on it other than I think if you want to just bet Sixers under on the wins total, maybe there's value there, because here's what we do know. Joel Embiid never plays a full season, whether it's from intentional rest and load management or he just gets hurt. And it's like, oh, Embiid's out his 4 to 6 weeks like he is once or twice every year. How are the Sixers going to win games without Simmons and Embiid? It's going to be really tough. So I think, having started my NBA prep, by the way, over the weekend, and we'll be doing NBA futures discussion the rest of the week starting tomorrow during the show. I could only go under on Sixers. I couldn't do much else. But it's hard to like say, oh, I'm betting under because I don't think Ben Simmons. Look, unless you have inside info, no one knows what Ben Simmons is actually doing. And you have kind of my point of bringing this up, competing, headbutting perspectives from two legitimate guys in the league, in Woj and Keith Pompey, who's directly with the Sixers, basically saying different things, right? So like it's hard to trust or make a huge gamble either direction.
Right. Okay, cool. I know you love the NBA, so you know that's your wheelhouse. So, can I ask a really quick question to Qwan? What was Patrick's bet?
What do you mean, today?
Yeah, for today.
He went up a prop on the tight end over 16.5 receiving yards. Not
Which
Doyle.
Okay. So I want anytime touchdown, Mo Alley Cox plus 550 if you can find it.
So Mo Alley Cox is 16.5. You want anytime touchdown? Okay.
That's my bet for today.
Hold on, we're getting there. I don't know why they're not showing. I can't get a line off the top. I don't know why. It shows TD scores. Oh, there we go. It finally populated. It was just slow. All right. Wow. You want first score or just anytime?
Anytime.
All right, it's 4-1. First time TD, it's 28-1 for what it's worth.
Oh man, I'm good. I lost a 16-1 before, so I'll just keep it.
Yeah, I don't know why you lost that one. So we'll lock you in at 4-1. We'll give you anytime score for Cox, and good luck, Carlos. We'll talk to you later.
That's what she said.
I missed that one. We'll lock something with Cox.
Anytime score for Cox.
Oh, anytime score.
Nick.
There you go.
Nick from Ohio.
All right. Put him through. What's up, Nick? How was your weekend?
That was pretty good. A winning Saturday, and even the Hawkeyes found an ugly way to beat Penn State. And then Sunday was okay too. It came out ahead a little bit on Sunday, so it was a pretty good weekend.
Nice. Good to hear. Did you end up teasing Penn State, so you actually middled with the Iowa Heart rooting interest plus the 8.5 or whatever?
You know what? I actually did not end up doing well, I did on the show, which did not work out because Southern Miss did not end up coming through on that teaser. Yeah. But I did not actually end up making that bet. I just let it go, and fortunately, it's probably the right decision because I probably would, if I was going to tease it, I would have used Southern Miss. So it's a good thing I didn't.
Cool. All right, what are you looking at early for this week?
This is a buy low spot, and all I can say, this is a numbers thing because I've downgraded LSU. I've downgraded them, and it still says I should bet them. So LSU plus 11. I think there's 11 at Circa. So
this is one I marked even at 10 last night, and now it's 11. Someone bet it at Circa like 50 minutes ago. And what the receiver Boutte, how do you say his name? He's officially out for the year.
Yeah, I think
that was announced earlier this morning. So now you can get. It's still 10 most spots, but there's a 10.5 out there, a couple 10.5. So I'm with you. I can't get anywhere near this number. I know they didn't look good against Kentucky, and Florida just blasted Vanderbilt, but it's like laying over double digits in Baton Rouge.
Oh
like,
my God!
Just prove it to me.
The Florida Vandy thing was ridiculous. Like Vandy had the touchdown there at the end of the first half, and then I didn't think it should have been overturned. Then it got overturned, but they didn't get the TD, so they're down 21 instead of 14 at half. And then literally 5 minutes into the third, they're down 42-0 instead of 21. I could not believe that turnaround. Like it was even yardage at halftime. Like I could not believe that.
I had an edge on 14.5, 15 on Vandy's second half, and if you actually look, it was even yardage. But Vandy, do you know how many plays they ran in the first half on Florida's defense? Do you know off the top of your head?
I don't remember the number. I don't remember.
40 something.
It was 48 in one half. They ran 48 plays on offense, and they found a way to score 0, despite having the same amount of yards as Florida.
Missed 3 field goals.
They missed a bunch of field goals too. So, and then sure enough, like fell apart 5 minutes into the second half. They still had a chance to, like for people that bet the plus 39 or whatever, you should have got a push somewhere in there at least. But, which by the way, Vandy plus 20 overnight was too high, and this is another one at 18.5 still. That's probably too high against South Carolina. But yeah, Florida wasn't nearly as good as that 42-0 either. I think that's probably part of the inflation here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't feel great about backing LSU right now, but at the same time, it is too big. So got to do it.
If we all just bet on teams we felt good about betting on, it would probably not pan out as well. So you got to find some ugly ones sometimes that have value.
Exactly. Well, my best bets on this show have so far been betting the ugly ones, like New Mexico State and Akron last week. So I mean, not that LSU's as bad as them, but
that New Mexico State cover was nice, by the way. You got 21 garbage points late against the Nevada second and third string QB. Yeah, that was good. Yeah. Take it. Cool. Appreciate it, Nick.
Anyways,
we'll talk to you later on this week.
Appreciate it. Yep. Thanks.
Yep. See ya.
Yep. Sounds good. Have a good one, guys.
I really do like LSU. It sucks, but yeah, you got to bet it there. Who's up next, Qwan?
We got Evan.
How's it going, Evan? Welcome to the show. How was your weekend betting?
Oh, weekend was great. Nothing was too bad until Gibson back with the Chiefs. But that happens every once in a while.
It does. You just got to move on. What are you looking at early this week for football or baseball, whatever else?
For my play for today, I'm going to find whatever the best line you could get for the Clippers is. But I do want to get your thoughts about the Arizona State-Utah game.
I think I wish I had more thoughts for you. I think it should be a dead pick. I think Arizona State is better than Utah. I think, and we saw it when BYU played Boise the other day. I went on about it a few weeks running. BYU was having some of the crazier results, turnover luck, weird, like special teams plays. Every bounce just went their way for like 4 weeks, including one of those games was against ASU, where ASU had 4 turnovers, 19 penalties to 3 of BYU. And ASU had the ball in the fourth quarter with a chance to go in the game still, despite all of that. And I was like, look, BYU's not this good. And also I think I undervalued ASU because now they're looking like they're probably the best team, at least in the South, but maybe even the entire Pac-12. So playing, again, in altitude, which they've already done once, which I think helps them to some degree, but going into Rice Eccles and Salt Lake City, like that's as tough of a spot as it gets. And Utah obviously looked great against USC. I just have to sit back and watch as a fan. I'll root for Utah since I went to school there. But the ASU team is legit. I think generally people will be like, oh, you got to play Utah getting a point. Like this is a spot. But I think ASU is just that much better now. And so I think it's lined pretty fairly.
Would you consider the over then? Or you think that's pretty sharp as well? So
I start going through all my totals tonight. I can tell you real quick what my early number is on the total. Is it 51 still in the market? I remember seeing that last night. Do you have it in front of you?
Yeah, one moment.
I can look too after I look at this. The play was to probably just bet Utah USC over. By the way,
it's 51 right now.
51 even. Okay, that ASU Stanford game should have gone over 51. I know that was one I gave out on Tuesday. Closed 53.5. There were 28 points in like the first 16 minutes. And Stanford, I think, punted one time the whole game and somehow only scored 10 total. Like that was a crazy game. We got to find the rotation here. I can tell you I have it. Yeah, I have it a little higher. It might not be enough for a play, but a 50.5 would be a buy for sure. But I think it's going to be closer to 53.5 is where my projection is right now. So barring weather, I don't think it'll change too much.
Okay, great. I'll see you guys for Who Wants to Be a Betting Extraordinaire. Have a great day.
Cool, man. Take care.
Bye.
By the way, did he say he wanted to take the Clippers for his bet today, no matter the line? Is that what he said at the beginning?
I missed it.
Yeah, we can give him +1. I'm pretty sure that's what he wanted. He said, for my bet today, but then he had a few questions. We'll give him Clippers +1. I'm fairly certain that's what he said. He wanted to go NBA preseason. Okay, who's up next?
We got Joey.
What's up, Joey? How was your weekend?
It was good. Just got to do better on Saturdays, but Thursday, Friday, Sunday, I won every day. So.
Oh, nice. 3 out of 4 days winning is usually all right. That'll usually do good. What are you looking at earlier this week?
For sure. I want to go with a teaser in the NFL. I want to take the Ravens and pair it with the Chiefs. I know they're only 6.5, but I don't trust them to win by 7 the way their defense has been playing.
And it's a wild. So many bombs from Allen, just 50+ yards down the field that
I know.
You'd think they would have adjusted or something, and nope. All right, so you get that down to -0.5, and then you want the Ravens tonight -1.5. It's 7.5 now across the board. So, okay, we can do that. We'll lock it in.
All right, cool. Sounds good.
All right, appreciate it. Talk to you later, Joey.
Yeah, bye.
Who's up next, Qwan? Mr. B? Like Vic B? Oh, is it a new caller?
No, like B. I've been on one time, Preston.
Okay. Well, welcome back to the show. Appreciate it. How did your weekend go betting?
Thank you. It went pretty good. On Saturday, I basically played the games you gave out early in the week, and
nice.
You did pretty good. You did on this. You took a pretty bad beat on the Arizona State Stanford total.
The worst one was actually the Memphis under. If anyone was following Memphis Tulsa, that's one of the beats of the year. But
it kind of got out of hand in the fourth quarter. I was watching that game.
We had to fade 5 TDs in the fourth quarter, and we couldn't do it. Yeah.
Right. Tulsa breaks a long one, and they're ahead like 28-13. And all of a sudden, it just back and forth. It was gross.
And the worst part is that it was 7-0 with 5 minutes left in the second quarter. It was 7-0.
Right. I mean,
and there was 2 TDs in the last 38 seconds of the first half too. There were just like crazy plays, all for 60 or 70-yard TDs. Anyway, I'm done complaining about it. But that one and the ASU Stanford one just were frustrating. But totals have been pretty good throughout the year, so it'll happen. That'll happen a few times.
Yeah, really good. I wanted to ask you about 2 games which you liked. I definitely have an opinion on both of them. I want to hear what you have to say about. First of all, the Georgia and Kentucky game.
So I had someone message me.
Yeah, Georgia, Kentucky.
I'll talk about that one first real quick. I had a friend of mine just message me. He was in a discussion with friends, like, what's the line going to be? And he's like 17, and I was like, oh, no, it's over 3 TDs for sure. I know Kentucky's looked good, but this Georgia team, for one, just legit as can be, and even that Auburn one was impressive. But if JT Daniels is playing, I think he's slightly better than Bennett, at least at this point. The market will treat it as such. And, we're looking at, I think I told him around where market is, I said, like 22.5 or 23, and it's actually moved up. It's even 23.5, 24. So I think it's actually lined fairly, and I think a lot of people don't anticipate Kentucky will be able to score on this Georgia defense, which is probably true. The total's really low, right? It's 44.5. So I think it's a total stay away. I know that's maybe not the answer that you wanted. I think generally I know one person that laid the 22.5, and that's why it's moved up a little. So if you're leaning the Georgia side, I think that's probably closer to correct, but nothing for me personally.
Okay, the other game I am going to play it probably no matter what you say, but Colorado State's laying 10 against New Mexico. And I've watched nearly all the games of Colorado State, just saw New Mexico won. Colorado State, of course, they were garbage early. They played poorly against Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
But I think that maybe they're a little undervalued. They played a lot better in the last 3 weeks. They played particularly good at Iowa. I mean, they had a chance against Iowa to beat that team. And this last week, they beat a bad San Jose team, but they played good. And I don't see how New Mexico can play good. I've seen them twice, and I'm not sure they've got a good in them.
Did you watch the San Diego State game at all?
I did. It was one of the more boring games you'll ever watch. It was torture.
It was, and they had a couple drives late that they maybe could have backdoored, but they couldn't even really put together much of a drive in those spots. I think they threw a pick in one of them. I'm looking up my number right now, by the way. Just give me a minute. So I have it a little higher. Nothing I was going to consider worth betting, but I think 11 is my fare. So if you want to lay the 10, I can't disagree. That's the number I would take. And I think part of the general assessment as well, like Colorado State, I remember they lost to Vandy at home. How are they laying double digits on the road? Look, I think it should be. So yeah, New Mexico, again, a team we faded last week. I wouldn't be against going back to the well, especially if the Rams are just improving. And they really only played one bad half against Vandy. They were up 21-0 at halftime, if I recall. And then they just somehow let Vandy roll like 24 straight or 28 straight. So yeah, I don't hate it.
Okay. Did you see the last 4 minutes of that New Mexico San Diego State game?
Yeah. I was watching the end.
I've never seen a team behind 31-7 just go ahead and run it right into the line and just say, let's go home. That was crazy.
They did on the very last drive. I think there was one, maybe it was with like 6 or 7 minutes left, that they moved it down to the 30 and then threw a pick.
Yeah.
But after that, yeah, they're just basically let's not get injured and run it into a pile.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Preston.
No problem. Appreciate it, man. Take it easy.
Okay. Bye.
Who do we got up next, Qwan? Cool. Go ahead and put them through. What's up, Brian? How are you doing? How was your weekend? Hey, Brian, you're on. You got us?
Hello. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good now. How was your weekend, man?
Hey, it was good. I actually went up in the mountains and didn't really watch any sports, but I like to do that every once in a while.
How often do you do that?
Overall. I like to do it about once a month.
Interesting. I always appreciate people that do the checkout thing. I've just never really been able to. I used to do like float therapy every week though when I was in Vegas, but like I just can't check out for a weekend. But I've always wanted to literally like not bring my phone somewhere. I literally am jealous of the people that can just like leave all electronics behind for multiple days straight. I need to do it eventually, but I just like haven't been able to tune out mentally like that in years, and I'm like jealous of that. Just thinking about what that feeling is like. So I commend you. I will do it eventually, post-football season, maybe over the summer or something. But regardless, glad you enjoyed your weekend. What are you looking at early for this week?
I am going to double down on my series bet for the Dodgers and just take their money line tonight with Scherzer on the mound at home.
You know, I would be extremely cautious as a fan, like a genuine fan. Like Lakers, Dodgers, like means a lot to me.
Yeah,
I think they crush them tonight. I think Scherzer pitches a gem and a half. Yeah. I don't think the Giants get more than one, and I think it's good. You can get minus 196. I think sub 200's value, and then it just puts all the pressure on the Giants, obviously going into Game 4. But I'm with you. I know you have the series bet. Let's add to it. Minus 195 actually. Found a minus 195 at Circa, so we'll give you that.
Awesome. Thank
cool,
you.
Man.
Go Dodgers.
That's right. Take care. Who's up next, Qwan? Who do we got? Cool. Sarab, wait, is he on the leaderboard? Show the leaderboard one more time, Qwan. Hold on just a second, Sarab, and I'll patch you through. Yes, so he is in first, plus 4.1. Then Joey, Andrew, and then the way Qwan put it, a lot of negative balances this month so far. So, Sarah, congrats. Good week for you. What are you looking at early going into this week?
What's going on, Preston? No, I'm going to keep going back to these under first 5.
Which one?
The Dodgers game.
Okay. I can give you a 4 at -116 or
that'll work.
A 3.5 at +105.
I'll do the 4. I'm a little concerned about Wood getting taken to the
Shelled.
yard by the Dodgers.
I hope so.
All
right.
But I'm hoping
I genuinely think like you can actually bet first 5 Giants under 1.5 at minus like 130, 131, 132. They're all in that range. I love that bet. I don't think Scherzer's giving up 2+ in the first 5.
Can you give me that instead?
Yeah, you cut out for a second. Did you say to give you that one instead? Yeah, I think I like it better than the 4. Now, if this backfires, I apologize. But, yeah, I don't see the Giants scoring more than 1 in the first 5. And I think for the game, it's pretty solid. Obviously, I like the Dodgers under -200. So, yeah, we'll lock you in for that. -130 on the 1.5.
Thanks. Wanted to note also that I had in the Survivor this week, and I completely agree with you. I think they're in trouble. That Texans game was tough to watch. They looked awful and almost.
Yeah, I think we're going to learn a lot in the Dallas game. It's either going to be the like, hey, how did we doubt Bill Belichick game, or they're a dog of like 4.5 points at home, or maybe it even goes up higher, and everyone's like, we were stupid. Or everyone's going to be like, yep, Pats are done. Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl. It's going to be one of those two takes. It's always the extreme in the media narratives, but it's a pretty big game, I think, just from like a narrative standpoint. Everyone will be following along, and I'm definitely worried. I think my numbers will say bet Pats, but I'm not sure I'll have it in me.
Thanks, Preston. Take care.
Yep. Man. You too. Take it easy. What do we got up next, Qwan? Cool. Mike, what is up? How did your weekend go?
Went good. How'd yours go, Preston?
It was pretty good. College was good Saturday, and then Sunday started 3-0, finished 3-3. So not awful, but yeah, it was a combo of, let's see, maybe it was 3-2. Now I'm trying to remember what my third loss would have been. Oh, I ended up adding Chiefs at 2.5, and it was that dumb game last night. So yeah, there you go, 3-3. But anyways, regardless, what are you looking at early this week for your bet?
Well, looking towards next weekend, I've already gone in on the Jags. Hopefully, to break the stride and win their first game in the last 21 in London. I like them +4 and then +175. I got them. And also, I think you also said you like the Chargers next week in the look ahead.
Yeah.
And I locked that in at 3.5.
Nice. I'm with you there.
Don't want the worried that if the Ravens do some damage tonight, that line, or if they don't do some damage tonight, if they don't show up tonight, that line might just drop down to heavy 3.
Let me just interject real quick because I think it's important context for people that are like trying to read markets and whatnot, and especially in one like the NFL where you have a game that's technically a look ahead because you have a Monday night game, for example, Baltimore laying 7.5, some 7 still left against Indianapolis. Look, if Baltimore covers, wins by like 14 plus, everyone's just going to say, hey, they should have beat the Colts stink this year. They should have won by a bunch. If it's close and they barely win or they just lose outright, which for sure could happen, right? They're only a touchdown favorite. Then the Chargers line's never 3.5 anymore. Just never going to get the hook again. So now's the time, I think, to bet the Chargers if you're going to look that way anyway. And if you want to wait, that's fine. But if anything, the line's going down. I don't think Baltimore could win at a level that somehow makes this line 4.5 against the Chargers next week.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to find Herbert, more than a 4-point dog for a while
at all
now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
All right. What do you want to lock in?
I'm also happy to see this past weekend. Yeah, I'm going to actually go with the Fox Bets laying Latavius Murray anytime touchdown at +140. And
okay.
Latavius' snap share has really gone up. I think he had like 63% last week on the snap share. really it's just him and Le'Veon last week, and I'm hoping it's trending more towards Latavius for bulk of the work. Just have to worry about, I think, Le'Veon sniping a goal line carry here or there.
Sure.
But
Cool.
I think the Ravens will have the ball a lot, and Latavius is going to be their man tonight, hopefully.
Did you say it was plus 140 at Fox Bet?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's that at Fox Bet, yeah.
Yep, that's fine. We'll lock you in at that price, and I'll make sure Qwan has it. But yeah, good luck tonight, man. We'll talk to you later.
Cool, thanks, you too.
See ya. How many more callers do we have, Qwan?
4.
4? All right, we're going to blitz through these 4, so I still have time to give you... I've hit on a few of the college already, at least as we've spoken through calls, but there's a few more that are at least worth mentioning. Who's up first?
Andrew.
Andrew, welcome to the show, man. How was your weekend?
Always good. How are you guys?
Beautiful. We are good. What are you looking at early for this week?
I'll just be real quick. I'm going with Michael Pittman over on receptions. I think it's at 4 right now.
Let me check 2 apps real quickly. Break it down for us, and I'll verify the line in just a second.
Michael Pittman's basically a wide receiver 1 at a reduced cost. The Colts don't throw the ball too much, but the game script looks like the Ravens should be ahead of the game, run the ball a lot, so they'll need to play catch-up. Pittman's got about a 26% target share, so averaging about 9 targets per game. If he catches half of those, then it should go over.
Okay, so I can give you, by the way, someone just bet it at DraftKings as you were calling. I'm not sure if they're actually listening, but it was 4.5 plus 105. Now it's 4.5 minus 105. The 4s, if there's 4s out there, are probably juiced, but the 2 books I looked at do not have a 4 anymore. So do you still like it at 4.5? I can give you plus 100 still on the other shop.
Let's do 4.5 for sure.
Okay, plus 100 on the 4.5. Pittman over. We'll lock you in, man. Good luck, and we will talk to you next time.
All right, thanks.
Yep, see ya. Next, Cam. Welcome to the show, Cam. How are you doing today? How was your weekend?
It's kind of tough.
That happens
started
sometimes.
out a little rough. Yeah.
It's all good.
I seem to lose every close game, to be honest, between Penn State and Virginia Tech and Nebraska. But
Everything that had it was
and
basically a
started with
coin
a
flip late.
miracle in Oklahoma. It started my day with Oklahoma Miracle, and the 3 I gave out on the show all lost. So bit of a tough weekend, but
All right,
NFL was about a wash. I did hit
Let's
the Chargers
sweep
live.
this week. We're going to sweep this week. Positive thinking. We're going to sweep this week. What is your favorite play on the board right now to lock in for your Monday play?
I'm gonna be playing both the Colts and the Rays. I think for the show I'll give the Colts at 7.5. I like the Rays tonight, but this whole bullpen game thing is just, I don't know. But
Sure.
I'll go Colts plus 7.5 for the show.
Okay. I actually don't mind. I thought 7 was really strong.
Went
Like,
outright.
but now getting the hook on a key number like 7, I'm surprised. Even the update here, Qwan has a graphic up. It's 7.5, basically across the board. One spot's leaning towards a 7, but I'm with you. I think now, if anything, you take the hook on the Colts. So we'll lock you in for that. And yeah, good luck tonight.
All right, thanks, man.
Yep, take it easy. Next, Ty, welcome back to the show, man. How was your weekend?
Not bad. I was pretty bent out of shape about the way the Penn State game worked out, not just from a betting standpoint, but they were far and away the better team with Sean Clifford. So it's
Look, I was complaining about the 2 totals beats. They were pretty bad, I thought, but like Penn State +3 was something I had given out early in the week to some people, and that was a push, luckily. But look, Clifford doesn't get hurt. I mean, they were gonna run Iowa out on the road. Like, they were gonna win that game. They still almost did anyway. And then Ole Miss was another one where somehow the clock operator didn't run the final second out. They should have won by 7. Instead, they won by 1. Anyway, there were a lot of games that just went right down to the wire, and it seemingly all went against at the end, other than Oklahoma, which was one. I know Colin Wilson was on. Some people liked Oklahoma 3. It moved and went to 4 right before kick, and they got a lucky one late. But regardless, turning the page, new week. What are you looking at yourself for your favorite bet today?
I'm going to take the Dodgers Giants to score a run in the first inning at plus 110.
By the way, the other day, last week, when we were talking about one of the first innings, I think it was plus 120 or 125, did you end up waiting and seeing if it got any better before first pitch?
Yeah, I think I did get a better number. Of course, I think that one lost. But the strategy of waiting until the first pitch, I mean, pays off because everybody bets the no. And actually, over the course of, I don't know the exact numbers, but over the course of the first few games of these division series, I think it's hit. I think you're up if you bet yes every game, just because it's usually plus money, and a bunch of them have hit.
Yep, you usually don't have the totals that are like 10 plus or whatever, so you're getting plus money. So I think, if I recall, on a 7.5, plus 110 is exactly break even, but a lot of places have this total closer to 7 with all juiced under on 7.5. So you're probably a small edge here, but again, I don't think it would harm you waiting. Maybe get plus 115 or 120 by first pitch. So same context.
Yeah,
we'll lock you in for the
quick
110 for the show.
I had a couple open teasers with Penn State. Is there a side you like this week to finish that off?
For college? Or NFL? Or
I mean, I guess either one, and maybe you'll get to it later in the week. I just didn't know if anything jumped out to you.
Well, if it's the 6 point at plus 100, maybe they'll make you do college. There were no, I'm looking right now. There are no dogs on my list. You know what might be good, though? Let's see if this moved yet. It didn't. It's still 6.5. Yeah, let me just sit on it. I'll have to marinate on it and kind of think through as I go through the card more. But yeah, we'll get you one before Saturday. See you, man.
Sounds good. Later.
All right. Final call, or did anyone else? All right, 2 more. All right, go for it. Hey, Tom. What's up, man? How was your weekend?
All right. You took my line. I was going to say I was checking Indeed to see if I can get hired on over in Mississippi to keep the clock. You reckon scorekeeper keeps the job this week?
I was like so just shocked that happened. It was one of those where I genuinely thought it should have been 0. I know it's easy to say when you're saying you have bets on the line, but I'm really unbiased about that stuff because, like, what's the point of like pretending you believe? That's runoff. Even if you're on the road, that's just runoff a lot in that spot. And somehow it just sat on one as the ball is like going out back of the end zone. And then obviously they score on 4th and goal. I think they had to complete 3 4th downs on that drive, and they had to do it all in like 1 minute and 7 seconds. Anyway, it was frustrating. Let's move on.
If anything, you let it run off and make them put it back up there if it's that blatant.
Of course, they can always review it and add a second if they have to. I don't think they would have, but of course, yeah, that's what you do. I'm sure the person was fired earlier today. I haven't checked the feeds, but I'd be shocked if the clock operator is the same person at home games going forward for the Rebels.
They might be found something a little further down the trough. If they fire them, there might be too much of a smoke. Fire come out of it, though. They probably have them clean latrines or something if they want to stay on.
It's probably the case. All right, what do you like real quick, Tom, for the week, your early first bet?
All right, 148.
Okay.
Cincinnati.
You just want to lay it?
Yeah.
It's moved up. I know it was.
As long as it's under 21.
Yeah, you got 20.5 still, but there's a lot of 21s. And, it was 19.5 this morning. So some money on that side. I don't disagree. I think I had it just over a 21. Didn't qualify for a big enough edge for me to bet it. But I would lean your way. So we'll give you minus 20.5 on that.
All right, brother. Go Dodgers.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I think they're going to take it down tonight, and I'm never positive. So hopefully I'm right. Take it easy, Tom. All right, last call, Qwan. Jim, welcome back to the show, man. How did your weekend go?
Awful. I deserve to go last. I had a platinum sombrero last week, 0 for 5.
Oh, really? Ouch.
So I got a lot of balls calling today, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Qwan didn't give names. He didn't say names. He just said there were a lot of negatives last week, but 0-5, let's turn it around. You can't do worse this week, that's for sure. So let's start off. What's your favorite bet looking at the card for Monday?
I got a quick one tonight. I actually got a prop. This is kind of heavy odds, but anytime touchdown, Devin Duvernay. He's plus 440 on FanDuel. If you don't feel like looking it up, or
Let me just make sure it's plus 440.
On FanDuel, yeah, but his number's kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
That's kind of the best
I checked
number
one more
got.
spot at DraftKings. It's only 400, so we'll give you 440. That's fine. Duvernay, anytime TD plus 440. I mean, you're going to get last week back maybe in one shot if you get this right. Close.
That was part of it, but actually he's increased his snaps, his target share, and actually had some plays. He's obviously a big play guy, so I actually like his chances, especially plus 400 when you're on the field 50% of the time is pretty good odds. So I'm going to go with that.
Nice. Cool, man. We will give it to you. Good luck, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, thanks.
Can't do worse than 0-5, Qwan. At least he's trying. I respect it. What are you reading? You like
we got chat bets. Shane, Giants money line. Fran Millionaire, Hoosiers +5.
Man, Fran, good luck. I don't know what to think of Tuttle from Penix, but that there's ever an ugly one for a spread that's low. I mean, not like betting UMass or something, but you're supposed to bet IU. I didn't have it in me. And then Sparty got steamed today, and now you can get 5. It's takes balls, but I don't have the balls required. Next.
Christian, Dodgers money line. Christian from Oregon.
Okay.
Got to clarify. Paul from Tuscaloosa. Jonathan Taylor over the rushing yards, 59.5, he thinks.
I also think it's 79.5. I'm just kidding. 59.5 minus 115. That's good. It's like a couple times where Carlos is like, I'll take so-and-so. Any number.
Blind
all right.
number.
They're laying 37. And it's a baseball game. All right. Let's blitz through these. We have a few more minutes before we got to put together our question for day 3 of Who Wants to Be Betting Extraordinaire. By the way, we had 3 people. We did the London game. It was ugly. I think the last 3 callers, right, all picked the Falcons minus the alt line because we made them bet a little bit of an underdog, and they won. And I don't think Santa Claus is one of them, unfortunately. We won't hear from Santa today. Then we also have 2 day 3 passes to Tom Davis and Alec, I believe. So they can also play if they would like today. We'll be doing a question cross sport, I believe. I'm not going to give it out yet. We're going to finalize it, but before we cut and go to Who Wants to Be a Betting Extraordinaire, those contestants playing for $250 today, and then just 3 more questions from $25K. Vandy, we talked about, still think it's good. Pretty ugly one, but my number is quite a bit lower against the South Carolina team that can't really run it up, and I think the Vanderbilt defense is at least good enough to keep this close, and an offense that should have had multiple scores against Florida in the end. Another one that I did like was the NC State Wolfpack, but it was 2.5. It got bet up today to 3. Not a bet at 3, but keep an eye on it. People, there's been plenty of Boston College mid and late week steam in multiple weeks this year. If that comes back down underneath the 3, I think it's a buy on NC State. You know who was really good, even though they lost to Oklahoma and no one wants to go to the well with them? Texas. I was impressed. They fell apart late. Sure. Look, they got the kid, Caleb Williams. Colin Wilson was on our show Wednesday and called it. He said, Rattler, he might have a short leash. Caleb might go in. He's this guy, dual threat, one of their top-rated recruits of all time, etc. He came back and won the game for Oklahoma, like basically how Colin drew it up.
Ruining your draft stock.
Rattler?
Yeah.
There was I think Rosillo did a podcast with Trent Dilfer, and I didn't get to that segment yet. I was listening. I started it earlier today, and one of the segments is what now with Spencer Rattler. Like, if he doesn't play, yeah, like I mean, he wasn't very good all year anyways, which I think was the main issue. Otherwise, they never. So it's on him. But now is he transferring? Is he going to go play somewhere else? And is the NFL even in sights anymore? Lincoln Riley's just been funneling these guys into the NFL. It's an interesting spot. Regardless, off topic, I know, but I like Texas. And you guys know I've been pro Okie State in a few of their games. -5, 5.5 now, some spots on the Longhorns is a buy. I know it's like a bad spot or whatever off the Oklahoma choke, but I'm not really discrediting what Texas did in that game. They played a little too much prevent offense once they had the big lead, and then they didn't know and never had film on Caleb Williams, which is just tougher to defend. And the kid had skills, and really the pass I think that initially tied it like was insane, stepping up and like throwing it to a corner and somehow right on the pylon he makes the TD catch. Like just some incredible. You have to give credit to Oklahoma. I'm not taking any away from the Longhorns. Time to buy back on Texas there. We talked about Western Michigan briefly. I just think 6.5s are too low at home. It's 186 is the rotation, right? Yeah, there's even a 6 or 2 out there. But yeah, I have that on the other side of a key number of 7 against Kent State. Qwan's homie, the coach, Lester. What's his first name? Tim. LSU we already talked about. Got to buy double digits with them. I do not know where this line is. I believe it's flat. I'm back on Ole Miss again. Look, Tennessee's looked a lot better. Heupel already turning the offense around. Blowout South Carolina. Good win against Missouri, right? So I think it's time now to fade them. I still think Ole Miss is just better than a lot of these other SEC teams. I'll lay the 3. I think it should be higher. Wouldn't bet it worse. And it's 3 across the board, so it's still available. And then the last one, this one's moved quite a bit. Iowa State, -4.5. I had noted there are a few 6s left. Small bet's still there. I have this up towards 8. Like, I still think the 6s are okay. 6.5, and especially at 7, you're not betting it anymore. But people can keep an eye on it. There has been some Kansas State love in the market some weeks as well, regardless. So maybe there's some buyback down. You can get, I think anything 5.5 or better is for sure worth playing full. 6, maybe a little smaller. 6.5, a little smaller than that, and then passes on 7. So that's the rundown. There's only 6. My volume tends to go down, usually week 8, week 9. I think we're in week 7, so probably have 1 or 2 ads throughout the week, and then we'll do totals tomorrow. But yeah, that's it. That's the last for Cheetah. I appreciate it. I love the Mondays, talking through everyone's bets, their weekends, how things went, where their mindset is at. Who wants to be a betting extraordinaire? New link. We'll post it live in about 5 minutes. We're going to get everything set up. We'll talk to you guys then. Until tomorrow for the Last Word Cheetah viewers and listeners, we love you. 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific on Bets TV.